on the Trossard one, absolutely, I agree. That is absolutely on him, which is why I said I felt that
he should be fined a week's wages, 2 weeks' wages, man. That is absolutely ridiculous. What he did there was ridiculous, unforgivable, man. You know they've not beaten us at the Etihad since 2015, and you could look at that and say that's potentially the reason, certainly a reason, that Arsenal have only come away with a draw instead of a win. Because I'm telling you now, yeah, going into that half time, yeah, I was not expecting anything. I wasn't expecting a point, nothing, man. Go check my watch along. I'm so depleted, man. My energy's on the floor, yeah. And as soon as Trossard gets sent off, I'm like, boom, yeah, we can do this. Now in the end, we only got a draw, but that's the point. That red card raised the whole atmosphere. It's for seconds away.
Changed the game, man.
It changed the game, and it's unacceptable. Do you know what I mean? And Arsenal fans can do this thing where they go, "Oh, referees." The fact is, yeah, you would have beat Brighton. Fact, if that Declan Rice didn't kick the ball away, that's a fact. Yeah, and you might have beat City if Trossard hadn't stayed. If Trossard didn't get sent off, you potentially lost 4 points this season due to just stupid decisions from your players. Now, Arsenal fans can blame referees. They can talk about inconsistencies all they like, but they've got to get a grip of this. Because what we're going to do in another 4 weeks, in another 4 games, if another Arsenal player kicks the ball away and gets sent off, are we going to sit here again and go, oh, inconsistencies, referees? Are we going to go, well, hang on a minute. This keeps on happening. Why are our players keep on kicking the ball away? Stop kicking the ball away. It's ridiculous. And you need to take accountability for it, man, because them 2 players have let the club down. That's 4 points already that you can look at, Potsy, and go, that's cost us. That's cost us. If we beat you by the end of the season by a couple of points, you could look back at these decisions and go, Trossard cost us the league, Declan Rice cost us the league. You can't accept it. And by the way, before anyone starts, I had the same energy last year when Rodri decided to choke slam that guy at Forest. Yeah, so this isn't me just coming at Arsenal. Yeah, when he put his hands around that guy's neck, Morgan Gibbs-White's neck, against Notts Forest at home last year, yeah, I cooked him on my match reaction as well. Players, yeah, sometimes, and they're only human, they make mistakes, but they've got to be called out for it. Sometimes they do daft stuff, and when they do daft stuff, you've got to call them out.
Listen, I agree with that to a large extent. I think that 2 things in this regard can be right at the same time. I think Arsenal fans could call out the inconsistencies, but also tell their players to wise up, especially if you think there's a conspiracy. So if you do believe there's a conspiracy, even more so, make sure you behave yourself. But genuinely, if you think there's a conspiracy, you've got to be even more anal about not kicking the ball away.
Facts, yeah.
So that element is true, and this is I think the problem with the discourse. Everything becomes too one-dimensional, very much low-hanging fruit, very basic bitch analysis, which is just it's a conspiracy, but there's more to it than that. Or it's just a case of take responsibility. We can't ignore the inconsistencies, though. I think the 2 things can be right at the same time. Dan, Arsenal's dark arts, the way they block goalkeepers on corners and a bit of time wasting here and there when they're winning, seems to have not just triggered rivals, but the media seems to be out all guns blazing, excuse the pun, ripping into it, basically saying it isn't right. What's your take on Arsenal's dark arts being attacked so much?
I think the game's gone if that's the case. Because I grew up in the 90s watching football and it happened every single day. I don't get why we've gone so pink and fluffy all of a sudden, man. This is what happens. This is, for me, nothing that we have done over the last few games is wrong. We've rattled people, we've wound people up, we've got in their phases, we've caused a nuisance. Ederson, he can cry all he wants. It was poor goalkeeping. I don't know what he's doing there. You're a goalkeeper and you're not a small goalkeeper. I'd be getting rid of those players. They wouldn't be coming near me if I was a goalkeeper. I wouldn't allow both of them to stare on me. I wouldn't let one of them stand on me, let alone 2 of them. We've been allowed to do it, man. We've been allowed to do it. Going down with cramp and all that kind of stuff at the end is time wasting. If you see that as dark arts, cool. But apparently some of them are actually injured now for tomorrow. So I don't know how much of it was genuine injury, how much of it was time wasting. Maybe it's a bit of both. But dark arts has been happening for a long time, man. You can't tell me that Manchester United never used to do it. Chelsea didn't do it under Jose. You can't tell me that Manchester City haven't done it in the past. Liverpool under Klopp. This isn't an Arsenal thing. This is a football thing. But it seems that when Arsenal are doing it now, as everyone wants to call us out and start writing letters to the PGMOL.
Yeah, you know what?
Let
me come in here, Dan. Yeah, this is where I will defend Arsenal. Yeah, so all the people who think I just hate on Arsenal, which is not true anyway. Dark arts are part of the game. It's got to be done. You know what I mean? You come into one of the most difficult places to play football, right? That's a fact. Our record at the Etihad Stadium is ridiculous. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. You're not going to come there and just, as soon as the ball goes out for a goal kick, David Raya is going to take his time. Yeah. Now, obviously, what you're going to have to deal with that, you are going to have to accept the fact that there is going to be 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 minutes added on at the end of it. So you're delaying the game, you're stretching it out, you're frustrating the opposition, but you're also adding a load of pressure towards the end of the game because obviously you added the added time on. Dark arts is part of the game, man. I don't have a problem with it. Obviously, it wound me up during the game. Obviously, that's what's going to happen. It's going to rattle me as a rival fan. Of course it is. But it's, dark arts are part of the game. Where that'll becoming really useful is Champions League. Because I tell you something, teams in Europe do this really, really well. And we don't really do it that well in this country. We need to start doing it more, in my opinion, in Europe. We need to start doing it. And this is where Arsenal could have some success. But dark arts is part of the game, man. Like, obviously, during the game, in a watch along, I'm cussing on Arsenal. I'm like, yo, these guys are cheats, man. Yo, David Raya taking time on this. Hurry up, man. Cheat. But obviously, like, all said and done, like, that's just the game. If I was in Arsenal's position, I wouldn't want Edison just to be getting the ball real quick and taking the kick off. That's just, it is what it is.
I had a number of watch-alongs on during the game because I like to watch a few while I'm watching it. And it was sometimes some of your long-range shots that were going over the bar. I love LBs. Oh, no. I'd love it. It's just the best, honestly.
No, man. What is crazy? Just quickly is when you look at the dark arts side, what was crazy for me was, oh my God, look at what Arsenal were doing here, standing on the goalkeeper, and then they look at Haaland throwing the ball at Gabriel's head and go, that's hilarious. That's really funny. So it's okay for us to stand on a goal. Sorry, it's not okay for us to stand on a goalkeeper, but it is okay for Haaland to throw a ball at Gabriel's head. You got to keep it consistent, man. All of it's part of it. I don't give a damn that he's thrown a ball at Gabriel's head.
That's hilarious, by the way, man. Like, why are people moaning about that? Like, we need more of this in football, man.
Of course we do.
So woke, man. Like, we need more. Like, when Jack Grealish
woke nonsense.
No, it is, man. It's woke nonsense. When Jack Grealish called out Almiron, man, we need more stuff like that in football. We need more players calling out other players. Yeah, we need more trash talking in football. I don't know. I feel like in American sports, you might get this a little bit more. Over it, everyone's too nicey. Everyone's 100%. Always so, like, too respectful. Oh, that player's so good. No, he's not. He's trash. That player is trash. Call him trash. Say I'm better than him. And then let's have a little duel. Let's compare G&A at the end of the season, man. We need more of this. Let's be honest, Let's be honest. Sorry, just real quick. Everyone is already so buzzing about City going back to the Emirates because either Haaland's going to dunk on Saliba and Gabriel, or Gabriel and Saliba are going to dunk on Haaland, and the loser's going to have to hold that.
And bro, this is why for 3 or 4 years when people were saying to me, oh, I think the Manchester City, Man United, some people were saying City-Liverpool rivalry is the best rivalry in Premier League history, and I just laughed at it. You're seeing now. Everybody, every neutral, every gooner, every City fan is buzzing for the return fixture. We all, as neutrals, I'd love to see you guys get each other in a cup game now because there's some animosity there. There's always been animosity between City and United, but as soon as Fergie mentioned noisy neighbours, it made every game a little more special. As an example, obviously, and you need that. The only thing I'm not calling out. You're right. I don't mind what Haaland did. Do you know what my problem is with it, though? I think if it's done by another player in another game, they get a red card. So for me now, I want loads of players to start throwing balls at each other's heads. We just can't see anyone get sent off. That's the only thing I'm going to say.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Because you will. I guarantee you, Man United score a winner against Spurs on Sunday. Casemiro picks the ball up and throws it at a player's head. I bet he gets sent off. I get a 3-month ban. Houses of Parliament talking about it. Man United can't behave in this way. For me, I just want it to be universal. But I love a bit of needle in the game. And anyone who doesn't like it, in my opinion, touch grass. It's like when we were on shows and we'll have a bit of banter and I get messages, oh, Terry, you shouldn't have taken the mick out of Potsy for being ginger. I'm like, bruv, like people that know each other quite well, we're not going to be offended by that. Like, it's fine. Like, no one's crying. I mean, maybe Potsy is off camera when none of us are watching. Maybe he sits here in his room crying his eyes out because I called him Ginge, but I
He's
don't
done.
think he would.
He's done.
I don't think he would. Let's go to some super chats here. First one says, 84 seconds, LB. You go right now and attempt to stop your kick mid-motion sooner than that in real life. From this opinion is arrogance. So he's saying that Martinelli couldn't stop his kick.
I think he could.
Trossard, you mean?
Trossard, sorry. Trossard.
I think
sorry,
he could.
sorry.
I think he could.
The thing is, we don't know. Well, one thing we don't know, right? Or two things we don't know. We don't know for a fact that Trossard heard the whistle, and we don't know for a fact that Doku was kicking the ball back because that was where it was played from. Only Doku knows, and only Trossard knows. So if we want to go down this line of should he have been, should he have not been, we can really go that depth. But I don't really believe personally that now we can start still talking about the referee. The decision, once that's done, you then concentrate on what happens afterwards, because actually the result is what matters, right? The result is what matters at the end of the day. And it massively changed the game. Of course, it was a huge, huge incident. Should he have been, should he have not been? Is there lack of consistency? That's fact. Not just the Doku one, but actually the whole weekend. I've seen over the last couple of weeks, since Rice and Trossard have both been sent off, I've seen players getting away with doing much worse than what Rice and Trossard have both done. Szoboszlai was obviously as bad, if not worse, than Trossard. Already on a yellow, nothing happens. I've seen Dalot throw the ball. I've seen people brush across the ball. I've seen people boot the ball. I've seen people nod it. I've seen people kick it, and nothing's happening. So there has been inconsistencies, and we can go on about fouls as well. Martinez at the weekend, I thought was a lucky boy, if I'm honest with you, Tell, for doing that. You know, I was told,
mate.
that is
That
a
was
very
great red.
red card.
That's
So
ridiculous.
we've
That's
seen
horrendous.
inconsistencies throughout. We're never ever going to get rid of
We
that.
saw, yeah, you saw the Chelsea one. I mean, how can you hold a player's wrist as he's running past you into the
that's
box?
mad.
And they defend it with, it was only a fleeting grab. Again, I'm petty. And for me now, if I was West Ham, what I would have done for the rest of the game is I'd have just carried on holding on to the arms of Chelsea players. It can't be a foul now. They've got to be called out. Haaland hates Arsenal. I smell another needless vid. Oh, is that a dig at me? Cheers, mate.
What's that?
It's just people don't like YouTube content, but they watch it all. Terry is an advocate for dodgeball. I'm on board. Yeah, I don't mind people throwing the ball at each other's head.
Dodgeball's a sick sport as well.
It is a great film as well. Great film.
Yeah,
They don't make films like that anymore. You couldn't make a film like that anymore. Do you know it's ahead of its time as well? With a man who identified as a pirate. He'd probably get cancelled now for that. God, it was brilliant. They're here. Hit the like button, please. Thank you very much, Luke Skywalker. I hope that's your real name. Wouldn't that be amazing if somebody was actually called Luke Skywalker?
I'd love that.
Would be sensational. So I want to put this point out here for a moment that says Terry loves to put everything against Arsenal, but never mention people laughing at Rodri's injury and never mention Walker being called by the referee. Hypocrite as always. Well, my little friend, I called it out live on air last night in front of 6,500 people, one of our biggest live streams in the past month, that the Arsenal fans laughing at Rodri's injury are scumbags. And I called out individuals that did it, and I've tweeted about it. On the Kyle Walker situation, I said on my match reaction, again, in front of 12,500 individuals, that I thought I understood exactly why Kyle Walker was frustrated and angry. So again, my point is, watch all my content before you comment on what I do and do not do, because my friend, you done yourself there big time because you don't watch enough. And I said this to a Chelsea fan earlier who complained about my Arsenal content. I said, bro, but I just went and looked at my last 3 Chelsea videos and searched your name. It doesn't appear that you've watched it or left a comment. If you don't watch all my other content, you don't know what I'm saying, do you? So you can't then call me out if you don't know. Relax. Man City Arsenal is like 2 parents who were friends, but they know their kids hate each other.
That's quite good.
I like it. Rivalries don't need to be toxic off the pitch. Yeah, they do. They do. They do.
It spices things up a little bit, doesn't it?
They always will be, man.
Again, it depends on what you mean by toxic, right? So I don't want to see fans beating each other up. I don't want to see any crazy violence. I don't want to see leg-breaking tackles. What I do want to see is bits of pizza being thrown. I want to see people squaring up to each other. Do you know what I mean? Do you know back in the day what rivals would do to each other? I learned this listening to, I think Dennis Wise was talking about. Do you know what they used to do? Clubs used to supply the water for the away team at grounds. Do you know what people used to do? They used to go into the changing room of the away team, undo the lids of the water, and they would crush up sleeping tablets and put little bits of sleeping tablets in all the drinks, so it made the players feel tired and stuff. I ain't saying do that, but like there was proper rivalry back then. People would really try and imagine actually spiking people's drinks before games.
Wow.
That stuff's crazy. Rodri's faking injury only to get an ACL was funny. See, this is just ridiculous. Like, let's not pretend that all of our clubs don't have players that feign injury now. Come on now. Come on. It's not funny in any way, shape, or form. And I don't like City. I'm a United fan. A difference between this and last season, Arsenal were defending for a lead rather than for the draw.